Hello my friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can convert simple images like this, simple shots, into top-notch popped out images like this inside of Photoshop. You can use it for your thumbnails, and most times I use it for my posters, right? So if this is something you want to learn, kindly tag along. Make sure you're subscribed, like, and share this video, and don't forget to turn on post notification so you won't miss any of the videos I'll be dropping anytime from now. Without having to say much, let's get started with this. Alright, so the link to download this picture is in the resource file is in the description of this video. Please click the description to get this image so we can be on the same page. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this image to a smart object like this, and I'm going to make a duplicate copy of this. So Ctrl J does this very easy. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to adjustment. I'm going to select black and white. I know you didn't see this coming, right? So the black and white is not meant to do anything. It's just meant to show me the dark and the light areas very well, avoiding colors and everything, right? So we'll be using it very soon. But before then, I'm going to turn it off, and let's start with the layer on top. So I'm going to go over to filter. I'm going to go over to camera raw, and now this is where the action begins, right? So inside of camera raw here, there are some settings that we're going to be using, right? So inside here, I'm going to reduce the highlights, right? And reduce the highlights. You can see the highlights controls the level of lights now. So this is what the highlight is for. So if I turn it up, you can see what happens. If I reduce this, this is what happens. So most times we keep this down here like this. Now this is one of the secrets that you don't see everywhere, right? So for the shadows, increase like this, and now the shadow brings back more details to the image, right? So increasing the shadow, you can see the hair region, you can see the details, and adding contrast to it also. The contrast gives it a nice rich depth, right? So increases the level of darkness in the image, right? It makes it pop more. So I'm just going to bring up that. I'm going to add some blacks to it too, to make the blacks richer. Increase the shadow so I can have more details. You can see the hair region, right? And of course, I'm going to increase the texture. You can see the skin, you can see the texture is more popped than it is before. And I'm also going to increase the clarity, and I'm increasing the clarity. Clarity is very important, and you can copy my settings for this. So this is the settings that I used. Make sure you are using the same setting, right? So it can vary based on the image you want to use, right? If you are doing a composition later, but for this is what I'm using. So you can see immediately before and after. So I'm going to turn on the black and white. You can see that I'm seeing my level of shadows and everything. I'm going to go over to solid color. I'm going to go over to exposure. Now I'm going to clip this to this layer here, and I'm going to change the name to dark. So we're going to be basically working on the dark regions. So I'm going to reduce the exposure like this because I'm working on the dark regions. And the gamma correction, I'm going to just bring it up just a little bit, not too much. I'm going to invert, Ctrl I to invert the mask, and I'm going to use my brush on the areas that I want to be dark alone. Now for the flow, make sure you are not using 100, right? Make sure you're using something small like this. I would go with 9. You can see as I'm brushing through, you can see that I'm painting in dark areas on the image. Ctrl Z when you make a mistake, right? So I'm using my mouse for this, so you don't have to have a Wacom tablet or any tablets whatsoever to do some of this manipulation, but it's recommended that you get. But then you can still use your mouse to achieve what you want to achieve, right? Good. So on these areas here, the beard region, you can see that you have dark areas here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush over here, right? And over here, corners like this, and over here also you can see where he has his eyebrow, So I'm going to paint over it. It's going to be dark. I'm going to leave there. I'm going to come here and I'm going to paint in some level of shadows here. Now, the real essence of your composition or your thumbnail should be that the features are accentuated, like it's popped out. So that's the most essence of your thumbnails and your compositions, right? So it's like taking something that is ordinary to something extraordinary, right? So I'm just going to dwell on these dark areas. You can see that I am only painting on areas that are dark before, except you want to change the whole dynamic of the image, and that is not something we'll be doing today, right? So I'm just going to paint, though I am not going to go more further on the clothes. I'm just going to stick to the face like this. You can add that to yours. On the tip here, I'm going to add dark areas, and you can see. So as it stands, I think those are the areas that I want to have anything dark on it, right? And make sure you're using a soft brush. Like we've done in previous video, make sure you are using a soft brush, right? So after you've made sure that the areas that you want to be dark is dark, like this place, I missed it out, so I'm just going to make that darker. Completely missed this out. I can make this bigger to cover these areas here because they need to be dark. You can see I'm just painting once. I'm not hard pressing it, just painting once like this. Okay, make sure you're not doing too much. Painting once here, and that's basically what I'm doing. Also here, I need to make this very, very dark because there's a level of darkness there already, so I need to make it pop more. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is adjustment layer. I'm going to go over to exposure again, and I'm just going to name this exposure light. So I'm going to use this for light. I'm going to clip this, right click and create clipping mask like this. And of course, I'm going to increase the exposure like this. And I'm going to take this back like this. Okay, so this stays somewhere here. Just make sure your exposure is on the plus side instead of the minus side because you are working on light region. So I'm going to reduce it here from the opacity. I'm going to use something like this. And I'm going to change my blending option. I'm going to hold down the Alt key. I'm going to break this apart. And I'm going to click OK when I'm done. Click on the mask and press Ctrl I to invert it. And of course, with the help of our brush, I'm going to be painting on areas that need the light alone. So I'm still on 9. So I'm going to start with, let me see. So I'm going to start with the eye region because the eye is supposed to be bright. It's supposed to stand out from every other part of the body, right? So I'm just going to give it more lights than usual. And also on this part here, I'm going to reduce my brush so that I can cover ground here. This place needs to be white. And you can see that my brush flow is set to 4 so that I can cover more grounds. Reduce the size of my brush using the bracket key close to the letter P. And I'm just going to retouch these areas like this. Areas like this should be white. Reduce my brush further, and I'm going to paint out these areas like this, and like this. And I'm just going to add small patches to this part here, little patches. All right, you can see how I'm making this whiter. Right, so I'm going to shift towards the hair region. So I'm just going to make this especially areas that are already lighter before, areas like this. Areas like this, you can see my flow is set to 4. Now the reason why I have put it in 4 is so I don't end up doing too much that I'm supposed to do. right? So I'm going to make my brush bigger to cover this area. So I can now paint over this part like this, and you can see I have done quite a lot here. Okay, so create an adjustment layer. Now this time I'm going to use brightness and contrast, clip it to it like this, and I'm just going to give this contrast to give it the rich darkness that I need. Right, so when I turn off my black and white, you can see how our image is looking. You can see how far we have come. So right, so you can see that it's a huge difference from where we were and where we are currently. Right, good. But there are some other things we need to add to this to make it perfect. So select all of them like this and group them. Right, so make a snapshot, Control Shift Alt and E, and of course you have this here. So I'm going to go to adjustment layer and I'm going to go to color lookup. Right, inside of color lookup, I'm going to select a special LUT file that I like using, which is this one here, the night from day. And I'm not necessarily going to use this. What I'm going to use is this foggy night. Right, I love using this foggy night a lot. And I'm just going to go over to my selective color, starting with the reds. I'm going to tilt towards the reds, the cyans, and just copy my settings for this. I would make a separate video explaining how you can use LUTs and how you can use your selective color to adjust colors. It's very, very simple. Right, so you can see before and after, and before and after. Alright guys, if you've liked this video, if you've learned something valuable from this video, do not forget to share, spread the gospel, and make sure you're subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
With over 1,000 premium fonts, over 100 high-quality PSD flyer templates, over 700 icons, over 3,000 premium stock photos, 3,000 plus high-resolution backgrounds, 1,000 plus 3D and PNG assets, editable PSD templates, and lots more. If you're a creative designer, UI, UX, or web designer, the Smart Designer's graphics assets will make your life much more easier.